G'day everyone, welcome along, welcome to Steel Horse Station. Thanks for joining me, everybody that I can see in there. It's good to see you, John and Grant. Thanks for dropping by. Maybe someone else hiding there in the background, can't tell at the minute. But it's a good start to the week here in Melbourne. It's just gone 7:30, been a busy day. In my part of the world. I've got some house guests, my sister and her family visiting from the US, so much busier household than normal, and good to have some internationals to show around. Now we are heading across to the Oaks, so we might jump straight into that. Normally, I spend a little bit of time on the Monday before sort of thinking about how I'm going to go about this. Today, not so much, been a bit busy. So let's jump across and see, we have just flicked into the second half. I did notice we've got no contracts active, which is not surprising. I am pretty sure we've put some equipment away, so we've finished with the little beet harvester and the main harvester. We need to feed the cows, I believe. What have we got in there? Oh, they've got a little bit. We could probably do to make a tub of TMR, and we do have some milk to deliver and sell at some point. It would also pay to put some more straw in. So what have I got in there? I do have a little bit of straw in there, so we might top off the straw. Let's jump to the other farm and see where we're up to. So in terms of progress, we've got a couple of loads of sugar beets sitting in here, and this is the pile mod that we put in last time that for some reason shows us down the bottom of the pop-up there at 100,000 litres, but up the top it shows us that we're actually at 452,000 of a million. So plenty of sugar beet on hand. Let's see what's happening around the corner here. We have a truck that stopped in the middle of the crop, which is never a good thing. And he's full. So we'll send you across. And we've got a harvester that's cutting in. So after the stream last week, I did a little bit more tidying up and sort of got us to the point where we could run our harvester on course play. Jason, hands full of dinner. Yep, that's perfectly understandable. I just finished a couple of tacos myself right before the drop there. Now, oh, I didn't want to do that. That really wasn't clever. So let's generate a fieldwork course and really hope. G'day, Mark. Good to see you. Welcome in. I'm just trying to figure out where I'm at here as we get stuff sorted. Okay, I reckon you can continue on that line. For reasons that I haven't been able to get to the bottom of, this harvester under course play only wants to operate with the chute out. Doesn't seem to matter what setting I'm change. I can't get it to retract reliably. So something a little bit weird going on. I have tried adjusting. So for instance, it's only got 40% filled at the minute. It shouldn't be calling until it gets to 60, but it is. So that's just a little bit odd. Now, let's see. Let's have a look at our fields. So as I recall from last time, I've almost finished ploughing that field, I think. Yes. We've still got this one to plough, and we'll have this one to plough when we're done. And what I did in 69 was just drop grass in so that we can get a grass cut. So it kind of works pretty well as a cover crop. And that means in the new year, we can get a good load of silage out of the bunker. So we'll duck across and finish off that piece of ploughing. We're in negatives on the cash as we've rolled over, so we need to sell a couple of bits and pieces. In fact, while I'm running down here, we probably should have a look and see whether any of we've got quite a lot of our crop now at a point where we could sell it. I'm expecting November might be a bit early, but certainly December should generate. Yeah, this field's almost finished. Let's have a look here. So wheat's sitting at 700. Another month or so there. Barley is getting close-ish. Oats still got 60 to go. Canola's looking pretty good. Canola at the diesel production is looking very good, actually. So maybe a load of canola might be in order. That would generate some cash pretty quickly, I think. Soybeans won't be till the middle of next year. All our sugar beet is in the process of becoming sugar. And we've got a heap of eggs as well. Okay, so there's a few. Oh, and straw. What's the straw doing? Probably another month to get the straw to pop up. So let's see how we go. What I'm keen to do is work towards another field. I'd really like to get field 28. So for anyone on the stream that's not familiar, 28's this field up here right beside the cow farm. We've got 31, but it'd be really handy to add 28 into the mix, and we're going to need 620 grand for that. So we'll get pretty close in our messing around with crop, I think. Let's finish this. It might be just as well to turn around at the end here and just go back and do that little section. So did anybody get up to anything interesting over the weekend? Mr. Haythornwaite, were you able to get to meet up with a couple of the creators last week for a drink? And if so, is there anything interesting to report from proceedings? It was all a bit quiet. I mean, my only reference point was FarmCon last year, but there seemed to be a lot less information available so far. I'm sure they'll produce videos and release them in due course. Oh, that would have been good regardless. I'm sure it was a bit unusual to catch up in person with folks that you otherwise have only dealt with online. When it comes to the tidbits we sort of saw through the week from Giants, what did everybody make of the material around the upcoming packs? I must admit, not having the history of FS 15 and 17, I got a bit confused by the announcements and then the ensuing conversation talking about DLCs and Premium Edition and the Horse pack. The one thing I noticed from the photo that they posted on Discord was that all of the creators were in shorts, or pretty much all of them were in shorts, and none of them see much sun. There was a decided lack of bronze skin. Alabaster would have been a more commonly used color, I would have thought. It'll be all white in the night. Yes. Flick that round the corner there. Getting a little bit of wheel spin here. Interesting in itself, given I'm assuming you have a big bingo call tonight, today, John. Assume we're not talking about Test cricket tonight as well, just in passing. Actually, more than anything, Jason, so I'll be the first to admit I didn't actually watch a single ball of the test. Yeah, why was there a match on Indeed? I didn't watch a single ball of the action live, and I've probably seen less than a dozen in replay, because the bits that I did see reported were just media and associated people behaving badly, and I thought, I just don't need this nonsense. So that's not necessarily a commentary at all on the nature of the game that was happening underneath, but the media coverage, or the bits of it that I had access to, left a lot to be desired. So I don't know what's going on there. And by way of explanation for anybody in other geographies, there is a much rivaled cricket test series that's on between Australia and England, in playing out in England at the moment. And the second test, which is a 5-day match, concluded last night Australian time, so Sunday in the UK, with the Aussies winning it. Yeah, that's probably true as well. But anyway, the Grand Prix this in Austria was more fun, I thought. And I particularly enjoyed the sprint race. It was amazing what a sprinkling of rain does to improve the viewing. Now, the fact that it's telling me that beet harvester is full suggests that we might have an issue back there. So I might need to go and check that. Let's see if we can get this guy going on this field. Kill that. What have we got? 7 headlands. That worked actually quite well on the last field. And let's... That is indeed true. And one of the more interesting pieces of motorsport news today was Shane van Gisbergen, a very talented Kiwi driver, winning a NASCAR race in Chicago. And it won't surprise many to know that there was rain involved there. If you've seen Shane drive in the wet, he is more than a little bit talented. SVG indeed. What am I doing here? I'm not paying attention. I wanted to do that. That's the one I want. I always find it impressive, regardless of their nationality, when professional drivers can step out of different vehicle types into some of the different series that exist around the world and demonstrate serious skills. We want to go, oops, to hit the right button. Goodness me, fat fingers running everywhere. Here we go. Let's try first waypoint. Now, I haven't seen any of the events in Chicago, so I've got no information at all on the nature of the race itself. Let's see here. So there's no vehicles messing around back here, so that's promising. Does that mean that harvester sorted itself out? Nope. There's where part of the problem is. What are you doing over there? Oh, just waiting, maybe. looks like Penny driving up there. So negative cash works when you set that doesn't mean he's running well, because he's managed to. I had a bit of a problem with, and I'm guessing if I turn it on we'll see it. No, that makes no sense at all. Why are you trying to drive to beat unload through the back of that shed? That's a bit bizarre. Okay. So the reason he'll run with no cash is I've got both auto load and course play set to 0 cost, because if you remember, we pay the Putney kids on a daily deduction, so they got paid when the day rolled over, and as a consequence, that's right, the oil cans, you got it. Now, what are you trying to do? You're actually going to pick up the... Just sit here for a second, see if you get anywhere near the correct course without making everybody dizzy. When I tried this a few days ago, I actually got it to unload quite successfully several times. So what are you doing? Let's come around this side. I know the course runs around here somewhere. You're on the wrong one again. Ah, that always helps. Picking the field of battle is sometimes half the art. Okay, this is looking a bit more promising approach, because that is the entrance road. You should do a U-turn. Come on. Round you go. Keep going. Keep going. That's looking better. So you got there in the end. I really would have preferred you to go a little bit further up there to make it a lot easier to turn the truck in. Didn't think workers did what, John? G'day, Bruce. Welcome along. Good to see you. Hope you are well. There we go. That works. Right, so that's good. So he's going to go back and empty the harvester. So we'll let him do that. And there's every chance, because he's found some reason to drive through the back, he's going to get in trouble. Meanwhile, oh, we want you to do that and that. Come on. That was probably too easy. Let's empty you out here. There we go. So when you're full, I'm really hoping that you're delivering cut sugar beet into there. That's what you were supposed to do. Let's have a look. It's easy to see. All right, there we go. So we're almost full up down here. That's why you had a partial load. Do I need to turn the wagon on first? How do I get rid of that? It's not what I want. Can that be? Yeah, yes, it can actually deliver whole beets. If you, that's a very good question. If I get out of there and go here, there's a tip side for cutter, but there's also a tip side rear. So you just got to make sure the tip side's set to the correct one. So if I won't let me while hang on a tick. Stop. So tip side back and tip side cutter are the two options. And so auto drive will, the other thing you got to do is go into settings and turn off automatic tip side, because otherwise it'll pick the first one. So this way it stays on what it's set to. That makes sense, I hope. Right. Let's turn you back on. And what I was thinking was, before Mark actually wakes up and realizes that we're operating on negative cash and turns his angry bank manager hat on, we'll go and get a tanker full of milk. Oops, and try not to hit the post. There is actually a wire fence there. It's a barbed wire fence, which I thought was appropriate, but it's the barbed wire is so fine it kind of looks a bit like there's nothing there. For those of you that weren't in last week, I managed to do a little bit of landscaping here, so I don't think it's come up too badly at all. On that manure heap we placed, I just went a little bit freeform and got a little bit creative. So those are down here somewhere, I think. Yeah, these bits of concrete wall. So I just used concrete wall, and if we have a look, and just sort of tried to position, they're not perfect. I smoothed it out a little bit first so that went, but then you can do all sorts of neat things to make them look a bit prettier. And as long as you don't try and put them on top of each other, if you just put them beside, they level in fairly nicely. So I thought that That came up quite nicely and just created a little bit of a different look. And then if you didn't catch it last week, the silo that we actually used is hiding in here somewhere. This open manure silo. So we just put that down. And then I just sort of landscaped over the top to create a surface for the manure to form on. So that came up fairly well. Quite pleased with that. Now, where's the milk point? I think it's along here somewhere. There we go. Fairly handy milk trigger. 6,000 litres. So it works. We might go and get some fuel before I forget. No, no, don't drive through the cow. It's freaky. So we'll go fill up with fuel. Drop some fuel in. Too easy. And where do we want to be selling milk today? Milk is going to be Farmers Market, it looks like, which is nice and convenient. That's always easy. It's facing the wrong way, so let's close that. Sell points, Farmers Market. Beautiful. So he can go down and do that job. Oh, we need a big tractor back at this end. We can put a few. Oh, it looks like the truck's gone and got stuck doing the same thing as before. Where's the trigger? Somewhere around here. No. I found it before. I know it's along here somewhere. What's the better park that truck right on top of it? I don't know if you've guys have noticed. So see that bale there? That bale was actually on the forks since the patch they did the other day. Some characteristics of bale handling have settled down again, but on restart, stuff moves around. It's not quite where you left it. I can't be definitive, but for example, that bale was definitely on the pallet fork when I signed out before. Let's grab 5 of those. And thank you, Mr. Haythornwaite. I am quite liking this big mixer that you recommended. I think it will do us just nicely. Quite sure how I get that bale that's sitting underneath it, but we'll solve that in a minute. Oh, pulp. That'd be a technical term, I guess. Come on. All right. Oh, damn it. Dyslexic fingers. That's the one I want. Give me 2 more of those. Oops, that trigger is in a bit of an annoying place. I might have to do some editing. Ah, that's an interesting question, Jason. It's not something I pay an enormous amount of attention to, so oops. I mean, obviously, for the algorithm, I like it when you guys hit the button, but it's something I quite consciously don't make a big deal about. Kind of the way I approach it is, if you want to, you want to. If you don't, you don't. But it would appear it's quite clear that it has an effect on YouTube. Although the volume of effect, I'm not sure about. Now, yeah, we can hook on. Will this be enough? Yeah, we can pull it to an extent. That works. Saves me going and getting a bigger tractor. Come on, round you go. So I can see 3 according to my little dashboard here, which is interesting. So there is some lagging in the updating. Ah. Backing it in is not the easiest way to do it. You can see 4. Oh, goody. I like 4. 4's a good number. 6 or 7. We've had 17 views, so we've had. I'm guessing that if whatever's going on, why? Oh, I've got the thing around the wrong way. Let's try tip side. No. Why are you not changing the tip side? That's better. Now, while we're speaking of channel and stream, just to mention, I am not able to stream again this week. I can't do the 7 o'clock streams on Tuesday and Friday, simply for this week. So I won't be on in 12 hours time. I am looking to see if I can just put something in impromptu later in the week, but I haven't made either a decision what it will be or when it will be. So the most likely is it'll be Newlands or the Oaks. However, the one thing I was thinking of potentially was having a look at Glenleithan, just because I was curious. So if people have a preference, given that I can't tell you yet when that would be, but that you might be interested in having a look at. And if I have a look at Glenleithan, I would likely start that as a... Okay, you're filling up over there. I can live with that. I do, John. Sometimes I was beginning to wonder, but thank you. So I'm thinking that it would be worth doing a first look at Glenleithan. And what I've been thinking of, I was talking about ideas for challenges and streams and things in some of the streams last week. So that's potentially one where, so the challenge I'm thinking of is to do something that, I'm just trying to remember the phrase he uses, but Gaming Joy in particular and Rusty talk about as a, like a map maker intended challenge, I think he calls it. So the idea is you play the map with relatively few mods and trying to guess very dark winter days. Ooh, that mightn't stream so well. Well, but then again, that might also be a good reason to at least have a look at it on a stream where we could, if it got miserable, we could sort of bump it forward and still have a bit of fun with it. I'm certainly not settled on it. That was really my thought, was to have a look at it myself and just sort of make an assessment whether it's on the list. Ultimately, what I want to do is I would like to do that challenge, but give you guys the choice. This is almost finished, so that's good. And I was going to run a poll once I've picked sort of 4 or 5 candidates and see what people think would be the good one to choose. So the thing about Mapmaker Intended is it probably would have less limited use. Okay, cool. That makes it interesting just for me to have a look at, just because I'm curious to see what he's done with it then. Another one, of course, that's I'm keen to see when it drops, because I've only seen a test version of it, is Farm Sim Brisco's Saxthorpe, which I understand is fairly close to clearing Giants testing, so that could also be a candidate. I've got no idea what the new farmer startup there, because part of the challenge is that you actually have to go with the new farmer setup for your first year. Oh, Saxthorpe is now on Mod Hub. Interesting. Well, that's fantastic. I'm really pleased for Farm Sim Brisco. So I would encourage everybody to give it a download and have a look. He's done another really good job with it. It's great to see one on console. Is the console release up there? Did you notice, Grant? Let's have a look. Let me zip over here. Giants Mod Hub. And there it is. Absolutely. It is. Let me pull that across there like so. So, custom environment crop calendar, 2 large customizable farms, 3 small yards, 6 areas to buy and place productions, 44 fields. Is the map make it into the... What's he got in terms of screenshots there? So now that I know this is here, and maybe I'm thinking we might, I might try and squeeze in a stream on Saxthorpe. As I say, it might end up being another Australian evening, which time-wise seems to work well. But of course, everybody that can't catch it can catch up on replay. But come on, click over. There's the calendar. This field is huge. When I tested it, this was 38, 39, and 15 was all one field. So it's now 3, which gives a heap more options. But he's done a beautiful job as usual. His eye for the detail and the landscaping. You can see the terrain's just got lovely contours, the roads. It's really nice. So maybe I'm now thinking that we might have a look at that later in the week. And I can leave Glenleithen for another day. Yeah, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to go there. Oh, congratulations, Mark. That's very well deserved. Is that a meaningful milestone in Giants Land? You don't want a second to think about it? I think it's meaningful. The people on our stream think it's very meaningful, Mark. So congratulations. Interesting, Grant. Stock check is one of only a couple of mods that I absolutely have on every save. And it's to the point that when I'm testing something and it's not there, I miss it. It's an important update. Now, what I was just thinking was this field's almost finished, and there were the last, yeah, there still are. We're not going to worry about the corn contract, but there's a couple of baling contracts. So I reckon we take a couple of these. No, it's very good, Mark. I'm thinking we take a couple of these and at least concentrate on getting the grass cut, and then we can bale them up across the winter as it takes us. Now, What have we got here? We can take 5 contracts. Let's have a look at the fields. 72, 74. They're quite close. 72, 74 and 75 look like good choices. We know 89's pretty big, as is the fences on 88 and 87. We could do 88 and 89. Let's have a look. Let's accept that, that, and that, and that, and that. Now let's see if we get our butt in order. Can we run round with the crone? So DJ doesn't like it. Ah, well. The only downside about that is that it just means he stops a bunch of people. Well, it just dissuades a bunch of people from downloading it. And it's a shame when he's got such a big audience. Now, let's go to 72. It's not impossible. I'd settle Mark for just virtual farming using it properly. But that would require him spending a minute or two to think about how it actually works. Can't reach 72. Which course are you on there, champ? I give up. Where do you think you're going now? Oh, please. It's not that hard. It really isn't. Let's go. Try again. Now let's duck back over to find out why our tractor didn't deliver the milk on its own. I know why the sugar beet didn't deliver. Oh, that was the other thing I bought. We bought a truck. Chat. This came up in the sale for 35 or 36% off or something, and I couldn't resist. We needed it. And that reminds me, he needs to go and get fixed first. I forgot about the truck. We can repair you. Oh, yes, good point. That's what I was doing. I got distracted on the way to the shop to sell the milk. There we go. Then we'll have money, because then I can send the truck. I was just getting ahead of myself. It's okay, Mark. We were trying to get this done before you noticed. We failed, as you can see. Well, when I say we, I mean I. That is where my money went. Yes, because it was 140 odd grand or something, I think. Now, you can go back to, you'll fail if I send you to the cow routes. Don't work properly. So go to Equipment Park 1. So now we should have enough money to maintain the truck, which means we can then go, yes, we do. Then you can go to the yards and fill up with canola, which we can then take and sell. So you need to go to there, not the main yard, you need to go to the cow farm. Silo, it's not the drop, it's the load. Silo load, that will be perfect. Oh. That's perfectly reasonable, Grant. What platform are you playing on? I am pretty confident, given that his experience and the sort of testing that he went through, that Saxthorpe is going to be good for PC. That said, there's nothing like waiting a week. But for me, in terms of doing a walkthrough stream, I can still do that when I can fit it in, and that'll give you guys something a bit different to look at, because I won't do it like a tour. We'll do it as a starting out a farm. I'll pick somewhere and kind of get into it. So that may or may not inform your ideas about whether you want to play it or not. The reason I hedged a little is it's Farm Sim Brisco's first console release. So if there were something to come up, he's going to have to fix it, because obviously wants console to go well. So there is a moderate chance of an update, but he's learning really fast, and he delivers high quality stuff in my experience, my limited experience. Okay, you're coming in and doing fine. You'll eventually find your way over and dump that into the silo. That field is finished. You're waiting because there's no room for cut sugar beet, so that's fine. You're back at the farm, so we can put you away. And with any luck, the truck will be here by the time we get you popped back in the yard. The Oaks did have a couple, but when you think about for his first map and how quick he was to sort them out, and whilst it numbered, I think it was release 5 or 6, you know, I've got a couple of 100 hours on here, and okay, admittedly I've fixed a couple of little things, but they weren't game breaking issues. They were just issues that I didn't like, little things that I wanted to fit our storyline. So you can stay there. Most of the issues weren't with the playability of the map. They were with just a couple aspects of map making that he just plain wasn't familiar with when he tried to do a 4X map. And once he gets on top of it, it just gets sorted. So waiting a week or two is not a bad thing with new maps anyway. Right, we might just pop you, whoops, in the other side. The truck hasn't made it, which isn't a promising sign. It should be here by now. Where did it go? The big M is where it needs to be. You're almost... Oh, you're wisping across the map. Maybe we need to have a look at that. Corner speed at 100% is only going to lead to tears. Let's have a look here. Turn off automatic refueling. Right. I was actually looking because I was quite intrigued by the fact that I don't know the UK and US prices, but if I'm not mistaken, the Aussie price for the premium edition, the full premium edition, is like $47, which is really if you just buy the premium edition as the DLC pack, it's like $27. But at $47, that's actually cheaper than the year 2 seasons pass. Yet the premium edition includes all of the DLCs up to and including the premium edition and a copy of the game. And now I get that as games get towards end of life, they get cheaper. But I'm not regretting my decision not to buy the Seasons Pass at all, because that would actually be a better way, a cheaper way to buy the Seasons Pass halfway through having seen the Seasons Pass. It just strikes me as a really odd marketing decision. Now let's... Okay, there we go. We don't want wheat, we want canola. Start. And where were we going to sell this canola? Let's check Mr. Haythorne Waite's world-leading comparison tool. The diesel production, which I have no idea where the diesel production is. So let's send you to the diesel production. Sell points. That's probably a production, isn't it? Productions. Okay. I give up. Is the diesel production not in my autodrive circuit? Yes, I tend to be a bit like that. I could be accused of overanalyzing these things. It's my background in... Spent too much of my career doing sales or procurement. I don't understand why I can't see the diesel production, but that looks like where it is. Oh, okay. So there's no actual sell point down there. That's why. So let's send you to there. Why don't we send you to field 88? Oh, there's an auction, and I managed to figure out which field the auction's in. So you can drive to field 88. So if anybody has any interest in the auction, it is this field here. This field here. So 97, which is 5 acres, it's not a field that we want, but just out of curiosity, it's 40,000 is the current auction price. And if you take something similar that's not currently under auction, what's 87? 87 is an acre bigger and it's 160. What's 99? Oh, there you go. That gives you a good idea. So 99's the field beside our, the little grass field beside our chook pens. And it's slightly smaller and it's 100,000. So as land goes, it's a good deal if you're able to get it sub 100,000. But I don't think it's any real use for us. Let's go find. He went to 72. There he is. Where are you? That's what I want. Let's mow that grass. Rightio. Lovely. What are they actually making on this field? I should check that, of course. 72, we are baling silage. So I could send the baler across. Try not to get stuck on the edge. So speaking of DLCs and things, the horse aggravation pack that they're talking about, is that anyone with past release experience, is that something that's going to be useful? There wasn't anything that, I mean, it didn't look like a bad collection of vehicles, and the fact that it's got a map with it is always interesting, but it didn't kind of leap off the page at me and go, gosh, I can't wait to have a look at that one. That is probably a good point. FSG already has one, and I know I'm sure, being a console map, Mr. Sealy P will be all over it in a heartbeat. And Virtual Farmer will get there in the end. But it is a good point. That's kind of where I thought being different. If I was able to find a time slot to stream it in the next couple of days, that might be a useful thing, particularly given that I won't have my scheduled streams for the rest of the week. That's what I was thinking, and that's actually a little easier to achieve because it isn't as time consuming on my end to stream because I don't have the edit side of it. And the advantage I've got over a regular map tour is I've already tested on Saxthorpe a little, so I've put a few hours into looking at a pre-release version of it. The only decision I would have is whether it's a condensed, and it might be. When I do map tours or map reviews, the perspective I tend to try and take is to do them from a farm manager or start from scratch mode, because that tends to be different to how the bigger YouTubers do them. So that's definitely an option. Certainly doing a stream. On the other hand, thinking about doing a this mapmaker intended challenge, so actually getting an idea of how Farm Sim Brisco, what's going on in his head of how he wants or how he designed the map to be played, is another way to look at it, which would potentially be different. So I think there's the seed of a couple of potential ideas in there without me necessarily being clear on one. Yeah, I must admit it feels more genuine to me. I've tried to record a couple of tours and I feel I don't necessarily get them to a point that I feel as comfortable with. I haven't completely put my finger on what the reason I think is. I think part of it is when I'm just doing a tour, I'm not completely on top of kind of the reason for being there, and I'm not necessarily the world's greatest cheerleader. I can be my turn of phrase can be a bit critical, let's just put it that way, which is not necessarily what I intend. But when some folks are looking for map tours, that's what they want to see. Whereas it more of a test drive, I find I can sort of relax into it because I know what I'm there to do. Like I'm just having a go, and what we encounter is what we encounter. And yes, you get the opportunity to pass some commentary on the map, but it feels like it has a point. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's kind of just a bit how I've found it, and it feels. And like doing a good map tour, and I consider that both FSG and Mr. Sealy P, for example, do excellent map tours in their own way. Yeah, I guess so. That's true. But that takes a lot of work to get right. Contrary to how a couple of the really good guys make it look, it's not simply a matter of just jumping in a vehicle and driving around the map. Being able to have a cogent conversation and cover the map and make it interesting and fun is actually hard. So I'm quite clear on the answer to that one, John, in my mind. So it's for the people that watch my stuff first and foremost. It's to inform them about things that relate to, well, so on the basis that you guys watch a bit of my stuff, so you do that because you have an interest in, or you get something out of the way I choose to play, and so therefore actually playing a map reveals information that then informs your decision on whether you want to have a closer look at it yourselves. That's kind of the role I try to fulfill. But it's always a bit of a balancing act, because you want to be respectful. Because I don't care how poor a job someone might judge a map to have been done. What I can guarantee is to get it to a point that it was released and available, one or more individuals have done a shitload of work to get it to the table, and that deserves some respect and support. So that doesn't mean you have to spend an hour or so pissing in someone's pocket, but sorry, that's an Australian phrase, but I think you kind of know what I mean. Right, there's one field cut, but it is a bit of a balancing act. And so that's where, to this point, I've tended to look at maps that my first impression of them is, gee, this looks a bit interesting. This might be something I want to play. Therefore, I'll jump into it and I'll try and have a look at things like, can you deliver equipment from the yard to your first contract? Because pretty much in my first couple of months on any map, I've done a contract, for example. So I kind of like to know if the map makers put the autodrive splines in to allow the AI workers to work properly. I think that's important information. And you'd be amazed. Well, you wouldn't be amazed. Most of you are more experienced than me, but it's astonishing to me the number of map makers that haven't bothered. And then people wonder why the AI doesn't work properly. It's like, well, God, you didn't give it a chance. On this map alone, where are we? We're going to 74 next. There are 6 big auto drive splines, and I can tell you from trying to add a 7th that on a 4X map, that's an awful lot of work to put those on and have them operate. And it's fiddly, because every waypoint on the auto drive spline has to be on the ground. What am I doing? I'm going to find that I've got that. Well, let's just put you down. Spin up the wheels. That'll do. Run up the side there. So I think talking it through and just sort of picking up a few comments along the way, I'm very much thinking that I will find a way to squeeze in a first look test drive of Saxthorpe before we get to next weekend. No worries, John. Thank you very much for watching today. Have a good one. Have a good bingo call. And look out on your feeds for the timing of that. As I say, I don't know when I'm going to get to that at this point. I have to just see how events play out. It will be a little impromptu, but it's more likely than not to be well, I don't know when it is, so there's no point speculating. That's the difficult bit. There is more chance than usual it might be at this time slot later in the week. Let's put it that way. The other thing that's complicating proceedings, all this sport, is, of course, we've got Tour de France. And yes, my French accent is awful. I already know that. I have had many Frenchmen tell me the same. It's an Australian thing, right? Rightio, so that's you done. So we can send you via a workshop. Didn't get the you notice and your like has disappeared. Ah. So the feed notice went up this morning at about 10 a.m. ish. Give or take. What am I looking for here? I'm looking for that page. Go over there for a second. Right. Maybe it was 10:30, but in that sort of time slot. Hey, Rusty Money. How are you, sir? And yes, we were just discussing the emergence of Saxthorpe, talking about the fact that what's happening on my that's really weird. What picture are you guys getting? Well, thank you very much, Depletion. Great to have you in. I'm getting really funny information back from OBS at the minute. It's telling me two different things about what you're seeing. But tractor with a plow. Okay, that's good. That's what I want. It's my I don't know what's going on in the background, but we won't worry about it because it's working. Thank you. Now, what we were just talking about, Rusty, was that I can't do my normal other two streams this week, but I'm looking to put in one that'll be at short notice. And we just made the decision that it's going to be a first look at Saxthorpe, a bit of a playthrough approach. That's what I want. I want that guy. because we just discovered that that had come up in the store. So that's what we will be doing, but I don't know when that's going to be at this stage, so it'll be a stay tuned. I don't know if that'll help you or if it'll occur while you're at work, Rusty. We'll just have to wait and see how the week plays out. I have family visiting from Connecticut, and so I've got a few things that I need to do, change my normal schedule, all for the good. Even if it does disrupt channel management. Now, let's go on there, make that, we'll take whatever you give us. That works. Start you off. Let's get this equipment off the field. We can turn you off. I think it's fair to say that our inaugural sugar beet harvest was successful. So we have a full load of cut sugar beet in the sugar beet factory, and when we unload this, if we manage to reverse the semi without jackknifing it. Of course, it's 4th of July week too, isn't it? Well, happy 4th of July to any American audience that we might attract. Set off a rocket, or what do you call it? Roman candle or something along those sort of lines. Have a bit of fun, have a beer. So how many sugar beets did we end up with in here? All right, best part of 650,000 in the silo and another 750,000 in the factory, I think. Yep. So we have tons of sugar beet, which is wonderful. Let's put you, let's send you back to the other farm, actually, for the minute, because I can't think of a good reason why we need you down here. So the main yard is, we have got enough to run both sugar lines. That is actually a very good point, Jason. It's probably even stronger than that. It's one of those things, as long as we run the cut line all year, it makes sense to probably put 500,000 through the whole sugar beet line, because we don't have any capacity. Once we sort of exhaust the capacity for cut sugar beet, everything else becomes cream, I guess. That's what I'm trying to send you, isn't it? Let's go and get the harvester. Come on, you can drag him off. Looking a bit grubby. I think I might wash this guy with the jet wash in the other yard rather than the bucket and sponge we've got here. Can't remember if you can tow that new header trailer or not. Let's pop you on there. I think that's right. Yep, it did. Is there a hitch on the back? Yes, there is. Right. Let's just pull you around. And then we can send you back to the other farm where we can... Oops, that's a bit hard with that window over the top. And there we go. We can turn that off. That's been a good harvest for us. Really good harvest. Which way is the best way? I think there is less obstruction. You're going to get caught on trees, that much I know. The local council around here don't trim enough of the trees, and so moving your heavy equipment around is a hassle. Let's send you to... Well, let's find out if you can actually get in the maintenance bay. This will be a test of how much mess you can create. Let's go take Jason's suggestion and turn on the other... Oh, we don't have any crop down in there. Never mind. We can solve that later. We don't need the landy. You're on your way home. We could just tip you straight in, couldn't we? So back to there. That should allow us tip side back. And there we go. A demonstration of the question that whoever asked that before might have been Jason. So now we have some regular sugar beet delivered out of the Beet Ninja. Very useful trailer, I'm finding. And so now we can get you to go to... Putney main yards. Beet unload 1. No, we don't want combine. We want pick up and deliver. Sugar beet. Go. And this will be an interesting test of whether that actually works. Haven't used that one before. You, we don't need. You're back. You're on your way out. You're doing the right thing, and you went to there. Now, which way round are we? Oh, you came back. That's why you look like you're facing the wrong way, because you are. We were selling canola at the diesel factory, weren't we? And there's no tip point. So is there even an auto drive route down this road? Let's find... Whoa! Yes, that is the answer to that question, because he must have gone along it to get in. Let's turn on that. Oh no, there's an out. There's not an in. Let's have a look here. So that's the inroad. So I'm thinking what we want to be doing is starting about there and then popping you drive forward a fraction further so we get the direction. The reason for doing that, if you're not familiar with autodrive, you'll notice when I tried to connect, it would only give me a direct line. Now by doing that, because I'd set the direction of travel on that segment over there, now I can do a curved line to it, which is a lot better getting out of this intersection. Just a little tip that Farmer Ed showed me. Makes a big difference. And let's see what happens up here. I don't even know what this cell point looks like. We haven't been up here before. So it could be a little squishy. No. To drive through. Gate opens, so that's a start. That works. Let's overload the canola. Nice little cellar. $47.8 and 4.1, 51.9. I like that. Excellent. So let's go one more waypoint. Come on, pop. Right, let's label that one. And that is diesel prod unload. Yeah, I'm happy with the truck. Works a treat. Diesel prod unload is good. If we drive forward just a fraction and slide you off the thing, that'll work fine. You can get out under there without collecting anything. And hopefully we can connect you back onto the world. Right. I have no idea where I'm going. I haven't been in here before. What's that way? Nothing. Okay, big loop works. And whilst I could make that a two-way loop, I think I'll keep left just in case there's ever a position that we want to send double lots of trucks. Connect you on there. Right. So you can stop recording. and go to pick up from silo load to diesel prod unload canola. That feels like progress. Won't speak too soon. It's a nice unit. It's good size, handles very neatly. So far, it actually does as advertised, unlike a few I've picked up recently, which haven't necessarily done everything I wanted. Right, let's put you into the maintenance. Oh, our harvester made it into the maintenance bay. That's impressive. And he is filthy. Right, repair the truck. Repair the bulk carrier. Ooh, 7,000 for the sugar beet harvester. I think it will pay for it comfortably. Why do I think we don't have a header on it anymore? So even though the header clicked in, did it fall off the trailer? Nope. It's just not in the maintenance yard. Bit unusual. There's the header. Thankfully, the header's cheap in comparison. Now, let's see here. Can you turn out there without getting everything all hooked up? No, is the answer. You were doing so well. Well, I reckon that's all worked really well for our first season of sugar beets. Amazing work somebody's done on this model at some point. Right. I could crab the having got the wheel into that position, I wasn't confident that I wouldn't spend all day. So what I figured I'd do is grab the tractor. Given that I'm going to park it separately in the shed anyway, I think. I figured now let's just... The two harvesters really worked well. Now, which way do I want to go? I want to turn you that way. Oh, come on. That's what I wanted. Well, no, that's not what I wanted. Busted the connections on the trailer. So if we drive you forward, do you clip back on? No. Oh, I discovered this the other day. So a little quirk of this header. I'm going to look because I'm curious now. No, it's a base game. That's not a mod, is it? No. So a little quirk of this unit is that you can't put it on the trailer unless it's actually attached to the harvester. Oh, did it? There we go. It's on now. Let's just pull you out of there. Now. I haven't actually decided where I want to put this in the shed. But we will attempt to put it in first. Oh, I need to wash it though. Whoa, turn too sharp and get hooked on the gate fence, gate post. That aspect of the game really annoys me. It has a collision and the only outcome is to end up in an impossible position. It's like, that's just coding. You could very easily reset that vehicle to not collide into that position. It irks me. Mainly because it's an error I make too frequently. Right. So let's wash that off. Now we're all good for another year. Can you drive through there without getting the trailer hooked on the doorpost? Yep. Not if you drive into the workbench that's in the other side of the... Yep, got a shed full of diesel fumes. Hope those extraction fans work. Now, I think, if I'm not completely incompetent, that there's enough room in there. If being the operative question. Come on, where'd you go? Come on. Just a little bit too far over, I think. Just need the butt to move about a third of the track's axle to the left. Come on, you cow. Just not. I'll get over there. No. Now it wants to go. Always the way. Okay. I start off on one edge and I put it right in the middle. Straighten that butt up. You can tell I don't move heavy equipment for a living, that's for sure. Oh. And that I'm steering dyslexic. Left is right and right is left. I could. And man, would I be hot and sweaty by the end of it. No pressure. Ah. Not ideal, but not bad. It's in, and there's enough room for the harvester next to it, so that works. And I didn't super strength it in, so I'm pleased. The truck can stay in the shop for the minute. Did that turn off? Yes, it did. All right. Yeah, that's a crab steer is control Y. Rightio. That's it for the harvester shed. So, where are we up to? Did we get... We got more vehicles over here. What's happening? Yeah, don't know what you're doing there. You haven't liked the reverse in trick. Know why? Your canola truck is stuck. Don't quite know why he drove. I don't know why he drove in there. There's nothing about where he should have been going on the route that he came in that should have taken him into those trees. He should have been backing in here like so. Now, you quite reasonably say, well, why isn't he driving through? No, he got full. So what did he connect to get out? That's the problem. So he needs something like, whoops, let's try connecting to the right. That's the problem. He didn't drive forwards. He attempted to do a U-turn. So if I take that, I'll sort that out another time. Not quite sure what's going on there. I have to think about that. But those routes were set before I turned this into a drive-through. So that's where the problem stems from. So canola load on the way. What we didn't look at when we were at the shop before. Oh, an S series. Nice. Titan floater. Is that have a sprayer body for it, does it? Must do. No, well, nothing in there that we're particularly interested in. Truck can sit. I'll fill you up later. That's not important. Let's get one more field of grass cut. Why did you not move around to field 74? You're just sitting there pretending. '74's around here, and we've done this before, I think. Where's the entrance to the fields? Whoop, bang. Crash counter +1. So that's 74. Oop, collision on that gate's a bit weird. However, we can trundle up here. This shouldn't take too long. And so, as I covered a little while ago, the plan will be I will slot another stream in. I just don't know when it is later in the week, and that'll be a first look at a Saxthorpe. The likely candidates are this time Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, or late morning Australian time feed. We'll just have to play that by ear. But we'll be definitely back here on the Oaks next Monday evening at this time for anyone that's able to drop in. I certainly appreciate all of your company this evening. It was great. We've got a few in. We've got some new folks as well. So thank you very much to all of you. For those that are in North America, have a great 4th of July. But I might sign off at this point and catch you all whenever we're next in the same virtual neighborhood. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time.